Today we're joined by none other than Ryan Shamrock, in the wrestling world, Ryan Shamrock. Thank you for being here today. I guess let's talk about the background of yourself. How did you get involved with pro wrestling, and were you a fan of it when you were growing up?
No, I was never a fan of it. And I got involved in it through a friend of mine who I guess is a really big wrestling fan. And he knew Bruce Pritchard from Houston somehow, and they were coming to Houston, right where I lived, and he wanted me to do this little spot, little plant in the audience for this big WWF whatever, and I was like, no, sorry. I was like, what is it? What are you talking about? I didn't even know what WWF stood for, so he told me they'd pay me $500, and it was 2 minutes from my house, and it'd take me like 5 minutes, so I did it, and then it just kept going and going. That was the first time I'd ever even heard of like Stone Cold or The Rock or I didn't know anything about wrestling. No, I didn't even know that it still existed. I mean, I remember flipping through the channels when I was like 5 and seeing Hulk Hogan, but at the time I only knew 2 wrestlers in the whole world, and one of them was Hulk Hogan, the other one was the guy who does the Slim Jim commercials.
Randy Savage.
That's it.
Basically, who was your first angle with? Was it Godfather?
No.
All right. Well, was
the first angle?
What? When you were put in the audience?
Oh yeah, I was in the audience, and Billy Gunn and Val Venus came out and messed with me, I guess, to make Ken mad, so he would come out and beat them up. And I had no idea what I was doing. I was just like, they're like, just go sit in the audience and they'll come out. I'm like, well, who? They're like, Billy Gunn's gonna come out and he's gonna moon you. And I'm like, okay, who's Billy Gunn? They're like, you gotta point him out to me so I know what the guy looks like when I see him coming out. And they're like, okay, well, you'll know, 'cause they'll come to you. I was like, okay, so just sitting there, like, with all these wrestling fans that I didn't even know. I was like, just hanging out, and they came out and did their thing. So I thought it was goofy, but I just did it, and I got my $500 and I left.
So after the angle, did you go in the back at all, or was that it? After you were done the angle with him?
No, I left.
You just left?
Yeah, I was like, it was Monday night. I was going to Cecil's. So I just got my money. I was like, bye. I didn't even talk to anybody. No one. I just went in and did it and left.
Who contacted you to return to the company?
I have absolutely no idea.
Yeah.
Somebody called and they said, because we signed a release form.
Right.
And they, obviously I put my address and phone number on there, and they called, I guess, 3 or 4 days later or something. It was before the next Monday Night Raw. And just said they were from the WWE. I had no idea who it even was. Maybe it was Bruce Pritchard. Who knows? But asked if I would come to Phoenix to do the next one. And my mom lived there, so I was like, sure, yeah, I'll go. And then left again. And, just went home, did my thing, and then they called again, like before the next one, which was in Toronto. And then it just kept going and going and going after that.
How were you treated by the wrestlers and females on your first night backstage?
I never talked to any of them. I didn't even see any of them. Like, I didn't even, I saw people standing around me going, they're Stone Cold, and I'm like, who's Stone Cold? Like, why are all these people like all excited about this? What's going on? And he's like the only person I saw. I mean, obviously they introduced me to Ken,
right?
And then I saw Billy Gunn and Val when they came out. I mean, I watched the show because I was sitting out there for half of it, and that's it. Like, I didn't even see any other girls while I was there.
Did you sense any jealousy from any of the other girls at all?
After a while, yes. I guess they assumed, just like I did, that it was just going to be once, and then just twice, and then just 3 times, and then it kept going and going. And at first it was not really, but then after a while, I don't know. Girls are girls.
Do you think that they were nervous about you taking their spots?
Well, I don't see why they would be, but that's what everybody else said.
Right.
They were just, I was younger and new, and they were, you know what I mean? It's like, that's just human nature, though, to think, it's, there's new people moving in. What are they doing? Moving out the old, you know what I mean? You think that, but it didn't happen,
Right.
So I don't think that was ever their plans.
What are some of your memories of filming the vignettes you did with Val Venus?
I remember going to Phoenix thinking that I was going to do some little audience plant thing again. And they're like, hey, we want you to get in this shower with Val Venus. I was like, oh my God, hold on. I have to call my dad. Huh. Dad, I'm out here doing this wrestling thing. Well, they want me to do something a little different this time. And he's like, what? I'm like, well, they want me to get in the shower with this guy. He starts laughing. So I'm like, okay, I can do it because Dad's laughing. And then I did it. I thought, I had never even watched. I wish I would have watched WWF before I was ever on it because then I would have understood what the hell's going on a little. You know, I was lost. I was like,
what did you think of the product right off the bat?
The show was, you know, I mean, as far as like production and everything, like the first night that I watched the show, I was impressed by all the pyro and all, you know, it was good. I mean, they're all really good actors and everybody's really talented and stuff. So,
was there anybody backstage that took you under their wing and tried to teach you the ropes?
well, at first Luna did. She was like the first one who was like, "Come here, Ryan," and she's super cool. She's the one who told Vince Russo that I should go to the WWF training, whatever you call it.
Right, training school.
Yeah, that. And start learning how to wrestle. So as soon as, like, she was talking to me about it, and then the next day they called me and told me they wanted me to come up and, you know what I mean? So as soon as she said it, it happened. And that was fun.
Did Val Venus ever hit on you outside the ring at all?
No.
No, okay. Was there any ever sexual harassment by any of the boys at all, or nah?
Sexual harassment?
Like, did anybody hit on you at all outside the ring?
Well, of course they hit on you, but do I consider that sexual harassment?
In the workplace?
No.
Okay.
I mean, I hit on them. I hope they don't say I sexually harassed them.
Were you taught how to wrestle or take bumps when you went to the dojo, to the school?
Yeah, by Tom Pritchard.
Tom.
Yeah, it was really fun. I like Tom.
Was it overwhelming? Like, take us through your training.
Well, I was with Shannon Hall. She got hired with them, but then she never really worked. Right. I don't think. You know Shannon Hall, the boxer?
I know.
Okay.
She's super cool chick, too. So the first day we get to wherever it is, Stamford, and we wake up the next morning after wrestling. We're just like, you want to go eat? Okay. Like, I mean, we were so, oh my God. It was like, I don't even work out. You know what I mean? I'm like, because I didn't do any kind of exercising whatsoever. And they had me like doing bumps and all this crazy stuff. But it was good. I'm glad I liked learning how to wrestle. I didn't actually ever want to do it on TV.
Right.
I don't think that's attractive. I think the girls should stand there and go, rather than be like all selling and,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't think guys really want to see you get all beat up and sweaty and make funny faces. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? So I didn't really want to do it on TV, but I liked learning how.
At that point in time, what was going through your mind? Did you like, oh, this is for me or this is not for me?
The entire time I was thinking this is not for me. I never thought this is for me ever in wrestling, but it was fun.
What were you doing before wrestling as far as occupation?
I was in high school. I was 19 when I started working at WWF.
Right.
I'm only 22 now, so...
I think actually one of the first times I met you, you were with Trish Stratus backstage. It was the same like that she came into the company. It was in Philadelphia, actually. It was like maybe your first or second week in the company.
Trish Stratus worked there when I worked there?
Yeah.
No, she didn't.
I don't think she worked there, but she was there.
She was there. She didn't. She wasn't on TV yet.
WrestleMania in Philly?
No, it wasn't. It was at Raw. Yeah, she was just backstage. It was before she did TV.
I was talking to her?
You guys were hanging out, and I actually came up to you and I thought you were Trish because I'd never seen her yet.
Maybe we were standing next to
each
other.
Yeah, you were.
But I don't know. You know what? I just met her, I thought was the first time at WrestleMania in Toronto.
No, she was there. She probably wasn't working yet, though.
I didn't even know that I met her. Wow. I know now.
There's more than you do.
Was it overwhelming?
Tell me some more about me.
Anyway, was it overwhelming being in front of many fans? Never doing this before?
Not really overwhelming. I was a drama student, you know, so it was fun. Like, it was really, at first it was crazy because, you know, I went out there and sat in the audience. Nobody even looked at me because nobody knew I was going to do anything. The next day, as soon as they see me, they're like, Ryan. I'm like, why are these people calling me Ryan? And why are they chasing me? You know, I was like, what the hell's going on? And then, like, just barely like a week or two into it, you know, or maybe not a week, maybe like a month, because that's only like 4 shows or something.
Right.
They, you know, the fans were always screaming, Ryan, this, whatever, when I was walking out. And then I'm walking out for some show, and somebody's like, Alicia, and I'm looking around thinking it's my friends, you know, I'm like, who's here? You know, like, I'm like looking everywhere trying to find like this friend of mine, and finally I see the guy who's saying I've never seen him before in my life, you know what I mean? And obviously that, you know, then I just realized, whoa, these people are like really into it, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
Then they've done research on you, and they've found out who you are, where you live, like, I would get notes on my door in my house. Seriously, like under my floor, under my doormat.
At your house?
Like going, yeah, like, hey, Ryan Shamrock, I'm a big fan, you know, blah, blah, blah. Here, Like,
Right.
okay.
Time to get a new job.
Yeah, right. Time to move. I moved in like 2 weeks.
Initial thoughts about when you're approached about the incest angle.
Well, it wasn't like it would be anything out of the ordinary for us two, but we really weren't surprised. I don't think it was Ken's fault. It was his idea, pretty much. Not really his idea to do it on the show, but he thought it'd be funny to kiss me in front of a bunch of fans, and they all started screaming that they liked it. I don't even know where we were, but they were all screaming like, "Yeah, if that was my sister, Ken, yeah." And I was like, "Oh my god!" And then like the next week, they're like, "Hey, you guys want to do an incest angle on TV?" And we're like, "Oh my god, not really," but I didn't really care. Acting's acting to me. I'll act like anything.
Did you think it was going overboard or nah?
Doing it incest? I don't think that anything that the WWF comes up with would be considered overboard.
It's entertainment anyway.
It's all acting. I look at, people look at it, I think everybody there, except for me, looked at it as like their career and their, they're wrestlers. And they, like I said, I was into acting. So, I considered it just a role, a character, it was fun.
What are your thoughts on Vince Russo and Ed Fiar, who did a lot of the script writing?
I like those guys a lot. When they went to WCW, they're the ones who called me and convinced me to go to WCW. And then quit like 2 days later. It's like, oh, come on, Vince. He totally called me and was like, yeah, come in, we got a good thing for you, blah, blah, blah. And just left me like in WCW, which was like this big disaster. I was like, oh my God, please come back. I don't think it ever happened.
How did you get along with China?
We didn't talk. We wouldn't have got along, so we just didn't. You know what I mean? You could just tell.
She was jealous of you, think?
No, I don't think she was jealous of me. I mean, she's a totally different type of girl than me. You know what I mean?
Right.
If we looked alike or something, I could, you know what I mean, or anything. But no, I don't think she was jealous of me. I don't think. But you can just tell when there's people that you aren't gonna bond with, so you might as well not try. So.
Did some of the wrestlers and females ever give you a hard time since you never paid any dues in wrestling?
I didn't know anything about that until I started coming to these independent shows about what dues were. I kind of just assumed that everybody was in there how I was in there. You know what I mean? I didn't know anything about it. But then, going to independent shows and stuff, I actually started feeling bad for not being so grateful for the job because I wasn't grateful for it at all. You know what I mean? I didn't take it seriously. I wasn't like overexcited. You know what I mean?
Right.
But it's not like I should have been because I didn't follow it. I didn't know anything about it. But then after the indie shows that I did a lot, and I see these guys and girls that have been doing this, for $20 a night, just breaking their legs and doing crazy stuff, you know what I mean? And they're just all trying to get where I was on accident. I started to feel what that was all about, that didn't pay your dues and stuff. I don't know if anybody was mad at me or thought that, I should have been there because I didn't pay my dues, but I just didn't think about it, I didn't even think they knew what I had done, or if I didn't really know independent wrestling even existed, or that there was a ladder that you could climb to get up. I mean, I started in WWF, you know what I mean? Like, that was the first time I was ever anything, and now I understand that, most people don't just start there, they have to.
Do you feel that, like, obviously more now than when you first started, would you have done things different if you got pushed in WWF now?
Oh, yeah, I would have. The only thing I would do different is would have, watched it before I was ever on it. Right. You know what I mean? Like, I think that was, the only thing I would, change for sure. I mean, if I knew more about it, I would know more of what to do. I didn't know how risque they got. I didn't know anything, nothing about it at all. So it's hard to do your best job. It's like getting an acting job and not doing any research on the character. It's, you know what I mean? And I didn't plan on it being a job. If they would have come to me and said, hey, we're going to be doing this for a while, it's going to be, blah, blah. But instead they're like, come do this thing one night. It'll take you 2 minutes. And then leave. And then come back and do it again. And then leave. I never expected it to continue. I kept thinking it was, the 4th show. And that was it. 5th. That was it. And on and on and on until 50th. And then I'm like, maybe I'm going to be here for a little bit.
What actually led to you leaving?
I didn't sign my contract. It was... my dad really didn't approve. It was long. I was 19.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was like one of those contracts where they have the right to renew it over and over and over, and they can fire you at any time, but you can't quit. One of those type things. So,
Right.
you know, I mean, being 19 and just not even being interested in wrestling, it wasn't anything that I was, you know, wanting to sign. I guess they gave it to me in February, and it was August before they came back, and they were like, "Where's your contract?" I'm like, in my closet. They're like, "Did you sign it?" I'm like, "No." And then we started talking about it. I started talking to JR, and, you know, telling him how, you know, it was just too long for me. And we used Ken's agent, Barry, to, you know, call him and say, you know, this is a little long for her, you know, blah, blah, blah. And they weren't willing to change it, so.
Right.
And that was it.
Do you regret leaving at all or no?
No.
No.
I mean, I feel bad again for all these guys who just, you know, I really do, but I don't regret leaving at all.
How did you leave with things with Vince McMahon? Was the door left open for you to return at any time?
Well, yeah, but I think they say that to everybody.
Right.
You know, I mean, I've heard like 50 people other than myself say that the last thing they said was, "No bridges burn, you know, open door here, come back anytime." I mean, I think they say that to everyone though.
Just
so.
political.
Yeah, I mean, they gotta act nice when they're firing you, you know? So.
Were you ever approached for any acting roles or modeling jobs after you left the World Wrestling Federation?
No, and that was one of the only reasons that I did it, but going to LA and seeing what it was like, you know, I wanted to be an actor before WWF was even brought up, and I thought that it would be, you know, something good, you know, and it does you this much good.
Huh.
No good. No, in acting, like it, you're like, oh, you're a wrestling chick. Okay, yeah, talent. You know, seriously, that's what they think of it in LA. That's, I mean, maybe if I was like a big superstar, like The Rock, yeah, okay, you could get some movies or something.
Right.
But it's like, okay, you were one of those chicks that what? Everybody's like, what did you do? Like hold a card and walk around with like the sign with number 2?
Right.
You know how many times I've been asked that question? People don't even know what we do. And they're like,
They don't.
"Wrestling girl, you wrestle?" I'm like, "No, we just go out there and, you know, do our thing." They're like, What thing? You know, yeah, it gets you nowhere. And
Did you stay in touch with anyone from the World Wrestling Federation after you left?
well, I mean, randomly, of course, Ken, but, you know, I mean, we would always, you know, even now, Ken and I see, you know, people every now and then, or we, you know, if they come to town, they call us. If we're somewhere they are, we call them, you know, whatever, like, something like that.
How did you and Sable get along?
We didn't, I mean, we definitely didn't fight or anything, but, I don't know. Wasn't really around her a whole lot.
Right.
You know, everybody had separate dressing rooms, and I wasn't allowed in the in the dressing room with the girls who had been there for a year or whatever, however long they'd been there. I have no idea. But
It was cliquish?
oh, yeah, they were very, like, you know, we paid our dues kind of thing. You know,
Right.
we deserve our own dressing room. So there's a corner bathroom down there. It might have a working light bulb. Go in there and change clothes, Frank. Of course, I didn't care. I'm like, okay.
What were your immediate plans after you left the World Wrestling Federation?
I don't know, to relax, to rest, to sleep, to eat good, you know, to do things that I wanted to do. That was it, pretty much. I had no intentions of going back into wrestling, but I got bribed.
How soon were you contacted after you left by Vince Russo to go to WCW?
Like 2 months.
Hmm.
Did I fix it? Okay, hold on. Ken's doing this to me. You guys gonna edit this?
Sitting back in your
He's telling me my hair is sticking out. Was it sticking out the whole time?
No, just when you sat back.
Okay, good. Sorry.
What were your initial impressions of Eric Bischoff?
He was really nice. He was cute. That was my initial impression. You know, you always hear all these bad things about him. I expected the guy to look like, you know, just mean. And he was, you know, it was all stylish and stuff. Had like that gray and black hair. You know, I totally didn't expect him to look like that. But
Right.
he was a nice guy, I thought.
And I guess when you first came in, they put you in with, how do you pronounce his name? Maestro?
Maestro.
Or something? Maestro.
Maestro. Yeah.
Yeah, Maestro. Maestro's a very nice guy. He's almost too nice sometimes. He's so nice, you just want him to be mean. You know what I mean? You're like, come on, like, you gotta get mad at somebody someday for something, please. But he never did. When I went there, Vince Russo told me that, you know, there was this guy who's been in the company for 2 years, and so I assumed that he had been working for 2 years on TV. And little did I know, the very first show that I went on with him was the first time they ever even let the guy go on TV.
Right.
And of course, I didn't watch wrestling, so I didn't know. Another mistake on my part. I should have done a little research. But, he's like, yeah, he's been here for 2 years, really good worker, blah, blah, blah. We want you to do a little angle with him. It's only going to be, for a short period of time, of course, and then they're going to move into a new storyline. And then Vince quit, and I got stuck there for like a year or something, way too long.
Did you like the role that you were in at that time?
No, I didn't like wrestling. The role was cheesy. It was like, come on, like it doesn't even fit in wrestling. You know what I mean? And I know they were trying to have like variety, but come on, I mean. No.
As a person who's unfamiliar with the wrestling business, how would you compare WWF to WCW?
WCW was easier. Everybody was nicer. The egos weren't quite as big, and but the office was just the most unorganized thing I've ever seen in my life. I mean, they would FedEx our tickets to us. Mm-hmm. Do you know how many empty FedEx packages I got delivered to my house? And I thought that it was absolutely insane, and I'm complaining about it the next day at work, and they're like, oh, the famous empty FedEx, you finally got it. Like, everybody gets them. Why would you, they write your name on it, pay for it, seal it, put it in the mail, and don't put the tickets in it.
That's why the company went bankrupt.
Yeah, hi.
FedEx.
Right.
Probably lost $1 million.
Was Vince Russo any different in WCW compared to WWF?
I talked to him more. I don't think, maybe he probably wasn't different. I'm sure he didn't change.
Right.
But I know that, we had more contact there. WWF, I barely even talked to the guy, but we did at WCW a lot.
Did you see the feud between him and Bischoff?
No, I didn't even know that. They got in like a fight?
They were,
like yelling at each other?
No, they were like competitive against
It was
each other.
political.
Very political.
I don't pay attention.
Yeah.
How'd you get along with Tammy?
Tammy, good. I only met her a few times, but, she was like, Eric.
What are you doing?
No, it's over my nose.
Oh.
Whatever. Anyways, Tammy was nice. She's a nice girl. And she definitely wasn't rude or anything like that. So I don't care anything about people unless, they're mean or something. So.
How did you get along with the other women, like the Nitro girls?
Really good. Like, WCW, like I said, was really... Everybody was more friends there, instead of enemies like they are at WWF, or should I say, like, fake friends at WWF.
Right.
Yeah, you don't think that they're your enemies, but they are.
Did you feel more friendly with the WCW girls, maybe because they were kind of in your position, not like starting out in wrestling like the Nitro girls are like dancers?
Oh, well, maybe.
They were more on your level compared to the...
But even like Liz, obviously Liz has been around forever,
Right.
and she was so nice and just super cool, and everybody was very welcoming, and they weren't, it didn't seem, I guess people were just a little more secure, I think, or they acted that way at least.
You said you were a drama student. How would you compare the acting ability of most wrestlers? Pretty bad, or?
No, actually a lot of them are good. Mm-hmm. I watch them. That's all I pay attention to. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. People pay attention to the moves. I don't know anything about the moves. So I watch their acting and and they're good. A lot of them are.
Right. From your experience, who would you say has the most acting, the greatest ability?
Acting?
Yeah.
Well, of course, stars like The Rock.
Mm-hmm.
People that can pick up a mic and just go on and on and on. He's really good at it. But I don't know. Maybe.
Did they give you a chance on the mic a lot or no?
No.
Did you want a chance on the mic, or you were just
not for the stuff
told?
that they would have me say. It was wrestling. You know what I mean? It was just so cheesy that I was like, just let me stand here and try to look cute, right? I really didn't even want to get involved, but it wasn't like I was, heartbroken that they didn't give me the mic, but I was just there.
What led you to leaving WCW?
Oh, God. I begged to leave WCW. It was awful. It was awful. And then they had us go into the power plant. They wanted to, even though it said, in writing in my contract that I wasn't going to be a wrestler. You know, for the money that they were paying me, I wasn't going to wrestle. You know what I mean? I was going to stand there. And that was it. And then, there was a whole change of the company, and there was new rules, and everybody had to wrestle now. They didn't want anybody working for WCW that wasn't wrestling.
Right.
So, going to the power plant with all these girls, they'd never wrestled, 2 minutes in their life. And, I'd only wrestled 10. So, there was just a bunch of people in there not knowing what they were doing. And it was ridiculous. They were getting hurt every day. I didn't get hurt, but, I could have.
Was the Deuce tough?
Yeah, she was very tough. They told her to be, though. You know what I mean? I don't think it was her, just, her doing it herself. They told her. They gave her pretty much things that, we had to learn. But, we were doing drop kicks off the top rope, the second week of wrestling training. Come on. And it was pathetic. It was awful. It was stupid, and I hated it. I was going because they were paying me, and it wasn't like I was actually working on the show anyways. So
right.
I was just going, but then it got really bad, and all the girls were getting hurt, and they were crying, and they were just it was really dumb. So they asked, it was funny because all of us would go out to eat after wrestling training, and the girls would all be, and myself would all be complaining about how, it sucked, and we were sore, and we thought it was stupid, and every single one of us was we hate it, we hate it, we hate it, we hate it. And one day after a big, long conversation about how much we hated it, we'd go back to wrestling camp or whatever they call it. And, Medusa asked, we were going to have a week off or something. And she asked if we wanted to have the week off or we wanted to come back and get more training. They're like, so anybody who wants to come back and get more training on our 1 week off in a year, raise your hand. And these girls are all like, they're all so obviously I'm the only person standing there not raising my hand because I'm not gonna beg for my day off to come back and wrestle. It was ridiculous. Like I said, after we were all complaining about how bad it sucked, they're all like, yeah, we'll come back. But they wanted their job, I guess, a little more than I did because I was like, I don't want to come back. I don't want to come back at all, honestly. So.
All right. What have you been doing since then?
Doing just Ken.
Excuse me. Just doing Ken.
Well, you asked. No, we've been doing,
Isn't it incest,
signing
though?
show. Incest, yeah. Well, not if you're from Texas. Just kidding. Anyways, we've been doing, seminars, and Ken does the seminars I just watch. Autograph signing shows, little independent wrestling shows.
Have you ever been approached by other wrestling companies?
Is there other ones?
Well, indie promotions and stuff like that to work for them.
For independents, yeah.
Yeah.
We do that.
Do you think a return to the World Wrestling Federation with Ken is a possibility for you?
I'd rather not. It's not on my top of my list for sure of things that I really want to do. To return to wrestling with Ken, yes, but to return to WWF with Ken, no.
Do you watch wrestling at all today?
No, I don't even watch TV. If I do watch TV, it's The Simpsons. It's not. It's definitely not wrestling.
What advice would you give to a girl who wants to get into the business?
Besides, don't. I have no idea. Like I said, if I would have been one of those people that paid my dues, I might have some, ideas on what you're supposed to do. But it was an accident for me. It was totally I was there, they were there, so I have no idea what to tell them. Besides, be careful.
Did any of the guys ever try to rib you at all?
Rib me? Well, of course they try to rib everybody, but that's the fun part. I'm a big practical joke lover. I love them. I don't care. So they didn't put poop in my bag or anything, but I can't really think of anything bad that they did off the top of my head, but it's fun. The cat from WCW?
Right.
Every time I would walk into the room, he'd put his sunglasses on because he says I'm so white. I use self-tanning lotion, but I don't ever go in the sun. And at WCW, I always wore long gowns anyway, so I was super white. I was the color of the wall. And he would always, every time I'd walk in, and then he started it, everybody else would start doing it too. So I'd walk in the room and everybody's like,
huh.
That was one of their small jokes, but
What are your immediate and long range goals?
Goals?
Yeah.
I have lots of goals. Just I want to be an actor or a model or a dancer or a singer or something cool like that. But I don't know. I want to go spend more time in LA and try to actually pursue it because I talk about it all the time, but I don't ever try. So I definitely want to, I wish I could find, a job where I could work a little bit and make enough money to, spend more time in LA, just trying to do things that I actually want to do. But I guess that's it.
Has Missy Hyatt ever contacted you about doing the Vixens website?
Yeah, she did actually.
Would you ever consider doing anything like that?
No. I mean, it's cool for them, but I was definitely not interested.
Talk about the pressure, if there is any, of keeping your figure and body in wrestling.
I don't know if I can answer that because people are going to hate me. I probably worked out 4 times the whole time I worked in the WWF. And that's it. I don't know. Maybe it's genetics or something, but I don't really. I worked out today and yesterday, but it's first time since, how long? 3 months or something? I don't do it regularly.
You weren't pushed too hard today, were you?
No. Yeah, I think I was pushed a little too. I mean, I could really, get some injuries. You never know.
Do you have any special diet or any, obviously no workout plans, but any diet that you follow at all?
Not for being lean, but I am a vegetarian. It
Really?
doesn't make you skinny, though. It makes you fat because you live on carbs. So, but I don't eat meat. That's the only thing.
Were you ever asked to do anything and you flat out refused?
Um,
I'm not talking with Ken. I'm talking about in the ring.
well, no, there was one day, I don't remember what happened, but I got hurt, sort of. I mean, for me, not that big of a deal to get a bruise or something, but at WCW, there was a time when I got slammed into those little stairs. What are they made out of?
Metal.
Steel. And there was a corner and it's sharp, and I was supposed to just barely get knocked down. I got plowed and, totally hit my ribs right on it. And then the next day they wanted me to do it again. I was like, no, are you crazy? Come on. Hi, you want to see this bruise? You really want me to do it again? I mean, come on. Don't be stupid. So, no, I'd said no, and they weren't mad or anything. It was actually, Jimmy Hart, the guy was,
right.
doing everything. And of course, he's like, oh, you don't have to do it. You know what I mean? He was like, no. He's really cool.
In WCW, who did you travel with?
Bret.
Bret Hart?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Was there any drug use that you witnessed in WCW? Because I know there was a story with Medusa and Tammy and all that stuff.
Oh,
no. Or not Medusa, I'm sorry. It was,
Kimberly.
Kimberly Page.
With the girls.
Tammy.
Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
No. I wasn't even around when Tammy came. I was not even really going to the shows anymore. You know what I mean? I saw her there maybe 2 or 3 times, but.
I guess, what was your favorite wrestling moment so far?
Do I have to have one?
No. If you don't have one, you don't have one.
I don't know. I mean, wrestling moment as in on the show or just wrestling?
What stood out in your mind to this day and said, wow, that was cool.
About the whole thing, just there was weeks that, Ken and I had tons of fun. So, I mean, we had a lot of fun, not when we were at work, of course. Right. We didn't like our jobs, but we liked it afterwards because,
right.
We didn't have to go home and clean or anything because we stayed in a hotel. You have no excuses not to go out and have a good time because you're away from home and blah, blah, blah. And they put cash in your hand at the end of the night and so we could blow it, and we had lots of fun.
Would you have done any of those pudding or mud matches that WCW did?
That's gross. I would do anything just because, if it was called upon or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't care, but pudding? I hate pudding. Honestly, I won't even eat the stuff. But, I've seen worse, on Howard Stern, the oatmeal.
Right.
God, I mean, that's bad. But, I mean, yeah, sure, I'd do it. Why not?
Okay, I'm just going to list some guys with the names, and you just give me, your opinion on them or what you think. First thing that comes to your mind. Name game, basically. Triple H.
I didn't like Triple H. I saw him making fun of a lot of people. He was never mean to me. But for a while, he made fun of a lot of people behind their backs, and I would see him do it, just not a lot, but 2 in particular ones that he really gave a hard time to, and I'm not into people that are out to make other people's lives miserable. You know what I mean?
Right.
So.
Steve Austin.
He was really cool. I mean, I think because we're both from Texas, we kind of had that Texas bond. And just automatically, I don't know, maybe it's in the water or something, but Texans are drawn to each other, so he was really cool.
Kevin Nash?
I didn't really talk to him a lot. That time that I was talking about where I got injured, he went after the guy who did it, was like yelling at him, telling him, what were you thinking? She's a girl, blah, blah, blah. I didn't even, talk to him, but he was totally taking up for me and stuff, so he's all right.
Scott Hall?
Scott Hall, I didn't really talk to at all. I heard a lot of bad stuff about him.
Huh.
There was people there that didn't like him at all, and but as far as him doing anything to me, never. He never made me mad.
Bill Goldberg?
I liked Bill Goldberg up until a certain point when he did that thing with Brett and he kicked him in the head like 8 times, and it was it's okay to be stiff, but not to somebody's head, especially the back of it. I mean, come on, he gave him a concussion and pretty much ended his career. So yeah, after that, I wasn't a fan.
Billy Gunn?
Billy Gunn is fun. He rode with Ken and him rode together a lot, so they were buddies and stuff. So yeah, we partied with him, I guess, but it was fun.
The Rock?
The Rock, I didn't ever hang out with The Rock, but he's really cool. He's a good wrestler.
Shane McMahon?
I like Shane a lot. He's really nice because my brother's name is Shane, so maybe that's why we also had a little bond. You know what I mean? Just automatically, you got to be nice to people that are named after your brother. So he was nice.
Jeff Jarrett?
Jeff Jarrett's a really cool guy. I just found out recently that he wasn't from Canada. I always thought he was Canadian. He got mad at me for saying that the other day. He's like, Canadian? I'm from Nashville. I was like, oh, sorry. But he's a really nice guy. He's one of those guys that you can just tell he's got morals. You know what I mean? Just from looking at him.
Right.
Manners.
Undertaker?
I like Undertaker. I liked his character. The dead thing that he did. It was just funny. But he's a really nice guy in person.
Buff Bagwell?
He's cool. He's got more mood swings than I do. But he, you know what I mean? It's
right.
like if you catch him on the right day, he's really cool. But he mood swings, man. He'd be smiling 1 minute and yelling 2 seconds later. So
Scott Steiner?
I don't know Scott Steiner. I don't even know who that is. I know that there's 2 Steiners, right?
Yeah, Rick and Scott.
And one's blonde and one's black
Right,
hair?
right.
Which one's Scott?
Scott's the blonde.
The blonde?
Yes.
He's the one with the big old mustache.
Yeah.
They call him Big Papa Pump?
Yes.
Hey, she got it.
Big Papa Pump. Yeah, he always kisses him.
Exactly. That's him.
I know that Medeja worked with
Right,
him.
right.
And she liked him a lot. So, I mean, if she thought he was cool, then I think he's cool.
Mick Foley?
I liked him a whole lot. Him and his wife and his children. They were really, really, really nice people. I always have great things to say about Mick Foley. He always was really nice to me and, told me one day that he didn't like his daughters growing up around the girls in wrestling because he thought that, they would think that they would have to grow up, get boob jobs and, blah, 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 blah. And he was really impressed, I guess, by me, being natural or small, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, I mean, he was a really cool guy.
Ken Shamrock?
Oh, well. Do I even have to say it? I mean, that's obvious. He is, I guess I would have to say number 1 out of all of them.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
What do you feel about Ken doing like real fighting, not pro wrestling?
I like it. I
Like
think
it.
it's good. Yeah, I didn't even know that existed either, before I met him. I'm like, UF what? UFC? UFO?
UFO.
UFOs? What? What? Yeah, but then after I found out what it was and, watched him do it, he's good, you know what I mean? So it was like, if he sucked at it, I wouldn't like him doing it because then I'd be scared. But, I mean, who's really going to beat him up? So it doesn't worry me or anything.
Is there anything you want to say to your fans out there that might be watching this video?
People are going to watch this?
No.
They will.
Just kidding. Hi. Thanks. And, all that other good stuff. I don't really know if I have any fans anymore. I think people forgot about me.
That's not true.
They forgot about me. No.
Well, thanks for being here today with
Hey,
us.
thanks. It was fun.
Thanks a lot.
All right. See ya. I'm Beanie.
Painless, right? That was good.
Watch thousands of exclusive shoot interviews right now on TitleMatchNetwork.com.